Okay, sure, we know he was using a little gizmo to make sure the air is breathable and whatnot, but this is still a name actor takes off his mask for the audience cliche. Meanwhile, his buddies D'Angelo and Marks get the film from behind and rarely show their faces because they're going to die soon treatment. All heroes in these movies need their cliffhanger moment when they totally don't rescue someone early on so that they will be extra motivated for when it's time for their comeback. It's their Eminem gets destroyed at the rap battle moment, with more deaths.
Back off, fella! If we go back, everyone dies.
And we won't have this ridiculously contrived hatred for each other that will provide pointless verbal sparring later in the film.
What have you done?
How is it that nobody knows that the submarine blew up right after they left, proving Jonas right? Wouldn't the captain of this rescue boat say, "Hey guys, good call on leaving when we did. That submarine blew up right after we left," in case you confused it with Shanghai, Costa Rica. Also, in case there was any confusion as to what market this movie is targeting. A whole minute of this helicopter taking off and landing with 11 cuts showing us different angles of the helicopter in flight. I hear you get hairy palms if you do too much copterbation. Forget that I could give two shits what this research station is called. I can actually read the big bold letters located on the fucking research station, and don't need the giant subtitle at the top of the screen. But good to know we're 200 miles off the Chinese coast. I'm sure that factors in somehow, because nothing sells shoes like putting them on Rainn Wilson.
Hung Hao Xin Jin.
Can we stop with this bullshit in movies, please? The person who tries to speak another language but says something completely nonsensical and makes a fool of themselves. All your base are belong to us.
他的口音好奇怪啊。
But he just said actual words according to the subtitles, so she should have understood all of it, even if the order of those words didn't make any sense.
Where'd you learn how to pilot a sub?
I spent 10 years with a certain whale-saving environmental group.
Why the cut there? Why the cut? And here? This is one goddamn sentence. Sorry about being triggered on something like this, but damn. Was there something in her performance that they had to cut when she was talking on screen? Did Michael Keaton rig a stage light to fall on one of the actors so he could hire Edward Norton and it happened right there? Was the editor trying to make it seem like I was in a shark's mouth while watching this movie?
There could be a completely new world.
And what if you're wrong?
Then you have wasted $1.3 billion.
Funny line and everything, but did this guy really throw $1.3 billion at a research project without knowing what they were trying to do?
Laurie, be careful. We don't know the depth on the other side.
Seriously? They sent 3 people down in this vessel to go through a previously uncharted section of the water? Why not send something remotely to take a few pictures and samples first?
Origin recommend an immediate right turn to 350. This could be a landslide. Last time I checked, landslides don't make 90-degree turns.
Margaret Court would be amazing at CinemaSins.
What could do that to the rover?
I don't think I want to know.
Hey, maybe it's time to go back up to the surface. You know, avoid the big thing that did that to the what's-it.
We've gone 5,000 meters, 8,000 meters. At some point, it just becomes a number.
I mean, it's a number that measures the depth to which at some point you'd internally combust due to the atmospheric pressure, but semantics.
Prep the helicopter. We must go to Thailand.
Good call, John. It's not like there's a timetable for the survival of your crew.
How long do they have?
Maybe 18 hours.
Of course, Jonas Taylor is a drunk now. It's the only dramatically acceptable condition a fallen hero can be in. Go worse, then he's a heroin addict and the movie's gotten too dark. Take away his addictions, then that person is in anguish enough about the time he killed his friends. Why can't these people ever be working some blue-collar job and living a normal life when they're needed again? D'Angelo was an asshole anyway.
You drink too much.
And now you're only saying that because I literally have a beer in my hand.
You always have beer in your hand. You know why?
Because I drink too much.
That's a conversation that happened.
It's Laurie. Your ex-wife and her crew are trapped below 11,000 meters.
And we could have just led with that, but we wanted to wait until you told us no so we could play a garbled audio recording, because we're definitely not on a timetable. Also, I guess it's lucky for this crew that Laurie just happens to be Jonas's ex-wife, eh? Why does there always have to be a connection? By the way, this does nothing for the movie, other than forcing Jonas to come to the rescue, and Laurie basically does nothing for the rest of the movie.
But I feel I owe it to my crew to give this rescue the best chance of success.
And that best chance is someone who is a heavy drinker that hasn't dived in 5 years, and probably has serious psychological issues related to diving. Surely there are other Jason Stathams out there.
We gotta can the lights.
Oh, these assholes just remade Deep Star 6, didn't they? Remember, kids, always have freshly applied makeup and a high ponytail before attempting any submersible vessel dives.
Summer life's in your hands.
Pretty much. Is that a problem?
Nah, you look like you might actually know what you're doing.
She does? Oh, it's because she's hot, isn't it?
You must be the crazy guy.
Kids.
My dad was a Pilates instructor in Taipei.
According to screenwriters, every time a husband cheats on his wife and runs away with his mistress, it's with a Pilates instructor. It's 2018. It's time for more mistresses to be chemical engineers.
He's gonna black out.
This fucking guy. They might as well have called this character Dude Who Came From His Mother's Womb Bitching About Jonas, because that's really his only character trait. Sure, he does an about-face after this mission, but he ends up getting eaten by a shark, so him.
At this speed, I'm gonna have to divert power from the heaters and shut down anything that could ice over.
But just a minute ago, Ruby Rose said,
It's like he's diverted all non-essential power like heat and life support to the motors.
when she was asked why Jonas was going so fast. So if he's already diverted the power from the heaters to do that, how much more power does he have left to divert?
I've got visual on the origin. I can see movement.
Okay, they're alive.
How the f*** do you know that? Just by looking at the ship? Also, we already knew this because Heller said he still had access to their vitals, which is way more important than your visual confirmation of the ship on the ocean floor. As big as this shark is, how is it possible that no one can see it until it's right on top of them? And yes, I know, this ends up being a squid, but she should have seen that as well. Deus Ex Machina! I guess the Meg just wants to wait for a moment that will serve as better dramatic timing when it attacks, because it's probably been done chasing flares for at least a couple minutes. I'm gonna make an argumentative point here. She would be so happy she was rescued, she wouldn't even care this is her ex-husband. Does anyone remember that she also has a screwdriver stuck in her stomach? Can we be like Jeffrey Pelt in The Hunt for Red October and dispense with a bowl? Toshi saves the others by sacrificing himself, and that's pretty noble of it, but my main issue here is what the f*** is the shark attracted to if there are no lights and no movement? Slow motion Statham shower.
You're naked.
Movie has different definition of naked than I do.
You should put on some clothes.
Yep. It's the original plan.
Nothing like a little post-colleague was eaten by a shark flirting to get morale back up to speed. Male gaze.
The Meg could bite a whale in half.
Roll credits.
Living fossil.
That living fossil ate my friend.
Technically, that living fossil charged the origin and it exploded your friend, but I'll forgive you because you're distraught. So why am I still adding a sin? I don't know. So, did everybody at headquarters fall asleep at the wheel when this giant 25 or so meter shark approached it? Is there no radar? And wouldn't this cause some sort of breach alarm? I think I heard this place was built for $1.3 billion, so damn well it should.
About a minute later, when the evolution came up, the temperature increased by 25 degrees. A shark could come right through there.
This movie is telling us that the Meg could only come up through the layer if the temperature shot up by 25 degrees. And a huge plot point of this movie is that Jonas encountered a large sea creature just like this 5 years ago in another rescue attempt. But what happened back then to allow the Meg to shoot through the layer? Remember, this is the first time the layer was ever breached.
That's the Meg. We need to get there, now.
Or call the Coast Guard. It's absolutely ridiculous that these scientists plus the billionaire all go out to engage with the Meg, when it should be a bunch of rescue experts like Jonas. It's like the rescue effort requires all the characters we've been introduced to in the film, regardless of their actual rescue experience.
These sharks have no fins.
That's because their hats are like shark fins. They're clearly in no condition to be wearing hats.
All for a bowl of soup.
Looks like the Meg evened the score.
The Meg 4, The Revenge. This time it's personal.
Unfished in all this?
Ask it yourself.
At least the Meg is nice enough to pop its fin up to let you know exactly where it is.
Somehow we have to get this boat next to that Meg.
No, we can't. It's already proven aggressive towards boats.
Except this one, because it knows you need to come up with a plan first. Also, it's not like the other boats were trying to get next to the Meg either, right? It just attacked them. So why do they think they're safe as long as they keep their distance?
To a prehistoric shark that ate our friend?
I guess you need a common man who subs in for the audience, but this guy's constant bitching, yelling, and poorly timed humor will instantly make you forget that he's a trusted member of a scientific team. It did some major disservice to his actual skills by not giving him anything except this to do the entire movie.
Stop! Stop! No vibration!
Did you not think of this before sending him out there? Movie wants us to believe Jason Statham can outswim a 75-foot prehistoric shark. Not sure if I'm sinning that or the fact that I might believe the movie. I mean, it's Statham. This movie is so dumb. Also, why did the shark stop pursuing the boat? It's definitely as fast as this boat, and it clearly has a hatred for boats. What an asshole.
At this thickness, it would take 20,000 pounds per square inch. Maybe talking about breaking, that's 800,000 to 900,000.
Yeah, but the Megalodon is a shark that they know very little about. It's a shark that can apparently break a whale in half. It left noticeable bite marks in their headquarters glass. Like Joe Piscopo's gun in Johnny Dangerously, it shoots through schools. And while it does prove impossible for even this shark to break the cage, how the fuck do you really know until you studied it?
I've done hundreds of shark dives.
Not like this.
And she knows this, right? I get that Soo-Yin is a badass, but this whole time she's acting like they're just going up against a tiger shark, and not a big fucking prehistoric one. Can't figure out why at this point they are surprised by anything other than the fact that they're all terrible and unqualified for their jobs and stupid. Ridiculous Shark Movie decides not to go full ridiculous and give us an entire scene with Soo-Yin trapped in the shark's belly while inside the indestructible cage. Now we can't get the scene where Jonas comes up with a plan to jump into the shark's mouth and MacGyver some contraption that will cause it to go full-on Linda Blair and shoot Soo-Yin to safety. And we would have sinned the shit out of that, but it would have been fun. Also, aren't these people highly qualified scientists? You mean they had no idea that the shark could have swallowed the cage? They knew how huge this fucking thing was. And this was the day Jonas's hand was shredded into 1,000,000 pieces from the cable. Oh, but he's still getting dragged along? That makes sense.
Thank you.
Get the out of the water! Save your thank yous for later! Movie goes through a lot of trouble to trick you into thinking Soo-Yin is dead, when she's this movie's only viable future wife for Jonas.
Look, Remember the bite marks?
Nope, and Jonas shouldn't either, unless I missed his bit about getting a degree in shark dentistry.
At least you can use this as your dating app pick.
Give you a little leg, you know?
Speaking of Toshi, wasn't he this guy's best friend? I understand they just cheated death and beat the shark. This guy's acting like he's gotten to the it's fun to joke about silly phase of his grieving process already. And this guy's totally dead, by the way. In all of my time watching movies, I haven't seen a guy this swallowed by a shark before actually getting swallowed by a shark. Also, it looks like this movie is going with the same plot mechanism as Jaws. They caught a huge shark, but not the shark, and Richard Dreyfuss will be here to show us the Louisiana license plate soon. Also, there's another Meg. Fine, but how did it know exactly where the baby Meg was?
I can't swim!
Look, I'm all for comic relief, but this comes just after their friend was swallowed whole, and the shark is still out there. It's like the Meg appreciates levity and allows everyone to get some humor in before all the killing. I'll remove 100 sins if it turns out that Jong wakes up with amnesia and discovers he was trained by Treadstone.
You're gonna be okay.
You're a good person, James.
Man, everybody in this movie is a sacrifice whore. Toshi, Suyin, and now Heller. It's as if nobody wants to save themselves in this thing. Also, after this, I guess the shark is done eating. Jax doesn't swim back until after Heller is eaten, so his sacrifice could have amounted to absolutely nothing. Good thing these vibrations don't attract the Meg that was literally right by them a second ago.
What happened to your hair?
Seriously? When it comes down to it, Zhang's life will be remembered for the peace treaty he brokered between apples and oranges.
Sometimes things happen that change your life forever.
Movie has time for this.
It's not just about the ones you lose.
Great. Skip.
I came here to celebrate with you.
I'd remove every sin we've given this movie if a shark came out of nowhere to eat Rainn Wilson right now, just like the one did to Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea. Not the Meg, but the exact same shark that ate Samuel L. Jackson in Deep Blue Sea.
Every person that gets maimed or killed by that thing is a potential lawsuit, a potential casualty.
Even if I were to buy that, which I'm not sure I do, especially with this being international waters and all, then why didn't he actually contact the Chinese government and make it their problem like he said he did a few minutes ago?
This is possibly the worst moment of my life.
Worse than Expendables 3, Homefront, or The Fate of the Furious? Yes, yeah, it probably is.
I think we killed a whale. It's right below us.
What are the chances a whale would just be swimming around in the exact spot that the Meg was swimming? Also, wouldn't that whale either A, have gotten the hell out of Dodge as soon as it knew it was swimming with that thing, or B, already been killed by the Meg?
Let me guess. Morris never called anyone.
Didn't call anyone.
What the hell was he thinking?
He wanted to make this go away as quietly as possible.
Yeah, but do you know he died? Do you know he went out to bomb the shark? All you're telling us is that he didn't call anyone. Yeah, what a dick. But there's absolutely no indication they were told what he tried to do and whether he died doing it. It might be a silly thing to nitpick, but several times in this movie, we don't know if the characters understand certain things, and it removes context from their actions.
Sanya Bay, what's that?
Oh, nothing. It only has some of the most densely populated beaches in the world.
I guess the Meg enjoys the chapter on beaches in the Old Farmer's Almanac, just like the rest of us.
Prehistoric shark sounds like a damn prank call.
Okay, but hear me out. Maybe don't tell the authorities it's a prehistoric shark. Maybe just tell them a very large man-eating shark is out there and try not to bring up prehistory or Hall & Oates during the conversation. Why in the unholy of all fucking f***dom is Suyin's daughter coming along for the ride? She doesn't even do anything stupid that saves the day.
How long until the shark gets to those people?
20 minutes.
I'm not saying they couldn't get all this set up and to where they need to be in under 20 minutes, but I am saying there's no way they could get all this set up and where they need to be in under 20 minutes.
Hip in! Hip in!
This dog jumps into the ocean. God knows why. He doesn't even join the party of swimmers and paddles way the f*** out to the water for some reason. I'm guessing to finally be free of its owner. Also, dog is in trouble in a disaster movie cliche. Pippin survives this. Look, I'm not saying it's impossible that everybody would be using swim rings when they swim in the ocean, and maybe it's a law in this country or something, I don't know. But how can you enjoy the water with this kind of ring traffic? Not sure how old this kid is supposed to be, but I'm guessing he's over this popsicle is going to taste like when it gets salt water on it years old. I've got this theory that movies like Jaws and The Meg were created as revenge fantasies for people who never got to go on vacation, because seriously, this guy. Look, I'm just saying I'd be gone. Like, I wouldn't rely on the others to tell me it's gone. I'd just never get into that water again. Ever. But these people? Nah, why ruin a perfectly good afternoon simply because of a shark scare? This movie's never really figured out what the Meg really is attracted to. Like, at first it was lights, then it was boats, then it was wild movement in the water like every other fucking shark in the world. And now he's bypassing all the free food to attack the boy in the plastic bubble. It's so fucking what? You mean, aside from the mass deaths that just occurred, it's safe to go back in the water? I feel like it might be a faux pas to say it's okay after 35 people just got eaten by a shark. Like, it might be the too soonest, too soon, ever too soon. Why is this perfectly aligned grouping of people on float still this far out? Do sharks give up on the easy kill just to go after the whales that are making noise? Either way, this is Whale Sounds Volume 2 Ex Machina. Kids, did the Meg fucking perform a sneak attack on Jonas? Because it looked like the Meg performed a sneak attack on Jonas.
I'm ready to fire.
Take the shot.
Are you telling me that the scientific research team was given underwater vessels with missile firing capabilities?
Chewing this, you ugly bastard.
Car won't start in a horror movie cliche. Reason number many why you shouldn't have brought this girl on the boat.
Here we go.
This works. Ah, the magic of movies, where you'll never question how an expert of deep-sea diving rescues manages to make all the right moves in this unique situation, escaping his damaged underwater vessel, finding a way to ride along with a vicious shark while it rips into it, and getting the perfect amount of time to aim at and stab the Meg in the eye to win the day, and live to tell about it. Also, going into the movie, you'd think there's no way they will actually give us Jason Statham by himself in the water going toe-to-toe with the shark. And then they give us exactly that. While I give the movie credit for this David versus Goliath moment, it doesn't make it any less stupid, so my hands are tied. Sure, this is an ex machina, but I'm wondering how Soo-Yin managed to locate Jonas in the middle of this feeding frenzy and target one shark out of the hundreds to save him. They couldn't even see the Meg itself under the water a few minutes ago. Wait, they were saved by the love boat? Why are they even still out here? Didn't they supposedly see it eat the dog? Did the shark just pass up on the boat after the attempt on the dog? How long can a dog swim in the ocean? After we last saw him, 13 minutes have gone by in actual time. The events that took place after this definitely took more time than 13 minutes. So can dogs swim for that long? The fact that they ever put this dog in danger in the first place, f this movie for that. But that it survived? Double f this movie. We're gonna f later coffee. Puns. Also, I've got 2 words for you, movie, and the first one also starts with F.
Are those sharks with laser beams attached to their heads?
What have you done?
What have I done?
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Welcome to the old level. I might be showing her my old face.
We're good to go.
I'm okay to go. I'm okay to go. I'm okay to go.
We're not gonna make it!
You are!
If I get eaten, you're gonna feel really bad.
I'm cutting your head. I'm cutting your head.
Dinah. Oh, now, wait a minute. I did have a chubby kid on a raft earlier today.
You didn't hear me when I said very important this morning? What good are you? Do you have a brain? Do you want to keep this job?
You work literally in the middle of the ocean.
You think serious black actors my age can just throw away jobs? It's all a business now. They got Usher doing Pinter off Broadway.
Besides, I like the cold. 30 years later, I get a postcard. I have a son.